Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Sarah Gergel, and I work with the Living Archives Project, where we are collecting stories of how COVID-19 impacted various communities in Charlotte-Mecklenburg County area. Today is April 17th, 2023, and this week there were 30 reported cases of COVID-19 in Charlotte, which shows a 52% decrease over the last 2 weeks. Therefore, we are both comfortable not wearing a mask. T, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. I'm a student and immigrant. We just moved to Charlotte area 3 years ago, and which just exactly when the COVID started. And then I'm thinking that COVID changed our life form and our habit a lot, and that's why I'm happy to share if my story if that will help anyone in the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your story. It's so valuable. So tell me, you moved from where?
Moved from my undergraduate study was in Iowa,
Okay.
and then finished there. I went to New York for work for a year, a little more than a year, and then I'm here for pursuing my graduate degree.
And what are you studying, or what did you get your degree in?
Mathematical finance.
Wow.
Yeah, and for undergraduate just mathematics.
And when did you graduate?
Graduate you mean graduate school?
Recently. Mhm.
Recently, just 1 year ago.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So what do you do for work now?
Now just investment.
Investments? Do you like it?
I'm kind of enjoying that. But to be honest, that more from my family, family tradition is that I didn't decide to do that for to choose that as my destiny. But after all, I find it's quite still enjoying and happy.
Yeah. Do you work as an investor? Do you work for a bank, or do you work for a big company?
I would say investment institute. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very cool. What is your favorite thing about being an investor?
Investor, because for me the bad thing is that I'm not prefer to do something that communicate with people too much, because I'm kind of an indoor person. So the best thing I can just maybe to play or to do with a lot of mathematics and to do with number. That's something I can mostly finish alone, and even I have to talk to people. That's kind of a technical thing. So I don't need to to deal with kind of a too complex person relationship. That's why.
And so you, for the last 3 years, you lived in Charlotte.
Yes.
And how did you like the transition from Iowa to New York to Charlotte?
Mainly is the weather. Now here, I rarely see a snow even during the winter. Maybe only the first year here,
Yes.
and now the weather is really wonderful here,
Really
comparing
nice.
to which I've been before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I like the cherry blossom, and which I'm lucky that I get a lot of them just near where I live there. So yeah.
That's amazing. Do you think that you would want to stay in Charlotte long term? Or
If
you
possible,
wanna- Yeah.
of course.
Oh,
I still
very
need to
cool.
depends on my career, but if I
Yeah.
can choose, yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. So when you moved to Charlotte, that's kind of when the pandemic happened,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So what was your experience like?
Experience is that the first thing I learned that I was quite surprised that I find something short in every grocery store, especially the toilet paper, and then a lot of food. I remember the first time I tried the Amazon the food delivery service the first time, because I cannot find some simply just enough beef or pork just in the local supermarket. That's why the first time I started to try the online grocery delivery, and so of course absolutely the pandemic just bring a lot of inconvenience to our life, and I'm thinking sometime I remember back then I have a week or two to worry about what will happen if I run out of the toilet paper, and other the food and milk and something. That's the first impression, and the second one is about the mask. Yeah, because that time I get that time my mom just come to visit me from China.
Okay.
And what the bad thing is that because she had a lot of friends back in China who would like to send a lot of the mask here for me.
Yeah.
And because back then, if you remember, I think everywhere just run out of the the sanitizing, like the
Yeah.
wipe and the mask, because for a lot of reason all of the world just concentrate in China in the back then. So that time I was happy to have my mom here, and I have a lot of masks that I'm abundant. I can just give some to my neighbor, which just make them happy. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
So, what was that like for you being in your graduate program, being a college student? Did you have to were you in person at first, and then you had to transition to studying at home?
Yes, like at the time I'm close to graduate, so I don't have too much class that I have to go. But still, I have two class which supposed to be like met in person, of course. But back then I have to transfer to like online course. Yeah, and for that one, I just feel the most thing I feel that is that it's hard to ask question because the kind of chaos like in the online chatting, because I'm not the only one, and I just kind of wait in line to ask question, and cannot. Sometimes I just feel, because sometimes I feel the language barrier, and it's even harder for me to ask a question online for the professor sometimes.
Yeah, so that connection, in-person connection was a challenge.
Yeah, another thing that because so to be honest, somehow I feel enjoying the life because I prefer indoor instead of outdoor. But back then I find if you have more time to stay at home, although you are thinking that maybe I have more time to improve myself, to do more learning, but the fact is that sometimes you cannot control yourself to play some game or like to make yourself to be lazy, not to do something because you have a lot of time there.
Yeah.
And so to talking about in result, I mean, I don't think that's a good like lifestyle for people, because you feel more isolated and more lazy, and because you don't have to. The society just, I mean, the environment just make you don't have to do this kind of work, and then as a result you just get further and further from person. Yeah.
So that isolation, it was a big challenge.
Yeah, I mean, somehow I feel it's really bad for me, but on the other side, I cannot stop myself like spoiling from that. Yeah, indulge that, because I mean I do have time, and then I feel I should go out and talk to person to keep the social connection, but sometimes just too lazy to do that. Yeah.
So were you living alone at the time?
Yes.
And then how far along were you in the pandemic when your mom came to visit you?
Sorry?
So how long did you live alone before your mom came? 1 year?
Yeah, 1.5 years.
Oh, wow.
我们遭受过歧视嘛？
Yeah, and something that a little like unhappy also happened there is that when we together go out for a walk, and we have some like the neighborhood child just pointed at us, say that if I remember that, oh, you are sick. I mean, because we did not cough and make a cough or anything, so I can only say that they're just because of our outlook. That's something.
I'm so sorry.
We know that maybe it's not the child's fault because he was too small to know that these things, but I was pretty sure to say that some family actually have made some certain like this kind of judge especially during the time for
但是有人帮我们说话。
for the Asian, and still I'm happy that someone spoke for us at the time, saying that hey, you are not good to say that. So
Someone did that?
yeah, we're grateful for that.
Wow.
Yes.
Did you feel like that happened often, feeling judged in any way?
Throughout my U.S. life, that's happened like a couple of times, but I would not say that's the major thing. Yeah, that happened time to time, but not like a big deal, I would say. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but still, that shocked me every time. So.
Yeah, that's so terrible, and I'm so sorry.
Oh, thank you.
How would you say, what was one of the hardest things that you struggled in the last 2-3 years?
Last 3 years. So the hardest thing for me is it's not something that already happened, but I just feel that in the future, because in the past 2 or 3 years, the policy will take to other country or to the COVID itself back in China just make the almost the whole world or like the advanced world just have a lot of negative opinion towards the country.
Yeah.
And even some people say there's something government do or it's the part like the political things, but I don't think that everybody will like to make that so clear. So sometimes they will just directly blame the people and blame the whole country, and then we should just reflect on ourselves. That's why I'm facing these kind of things. Yeah.
So you feel like sometimes they judge your country as a whole, but
right.
It's not your decision.
Yeah, right.
You don't get to make a decision.
Yeah. So like before, if I went to for let's say a grocery store or something, if I find some people just treat me so like cold or so negative, before I may think about maybe they're just random people who happen to be like that. But now I'm thinking about maybe he or she is doing that because of like I'm Asian or especially Chinese. I mean, I don't know the reason because I cannot ask the reason to them, but just I cannot stop thinking about that.
Yeah. That discrimination.
Yeah, right. And also, like time to time now you learn like some news like in the for example in the New York something that someone just beat their old Asian lady so hard. So I cannot stop. I cannot stop thinking about if that happened on myself or on my family member. Yes.
Yeah, that's so scary to think about. And to see happening in the news.
Yes, that's something that worries me a lot. But happily that's not happened, but I cannot stop thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
So it seems like your family is very important to you.
Of course, I'm proud of them.
Yeah. So can you tell me, what was their experience like in China at the time?
I mean, talk about my mother, I think she's that type of person. I would say that she's kind of God just make she like to burn in China wrongly. I mean, because inside her, I think she more belong to this side, and because she like to talk a lot and just don't get used to anything that will like restrict her. So that's why I remember quite clear last year I think it's March or April, she just grow kind of anxious because like she feel maybe because back to then like more and more city back in China get to kind of took action, which almost can be speak as lockdown if they not say so.
Yeah.
So even not like the whole city, but like some district and even some community or subdivision, they will start to do that. So she grow like more anxious that time and just start to like find the flight ticket which can just get here to get just the peace in mind. Yeah, that's why. And so that thing that I feel more that's the thing I feel most about COVID because I don't care too much about the impact on whole society, but when the things just come so clear and so close to my family member that I will feel the danger like the most.
It hurts.
Yeah,
it
right.
Hurts deeper.
And not to say that when the time then my mother like went back to China like 2 years ago, because the time there they are taking the most strict like the policy about the quarantine and the filtering things. So when she was forced to like after she landed in China, she was sent to a random hotel which she got no choice, and they just like kind of taking lottery and saying that hey, you go to that hotel and you go to that hotel.
Yeah.
And when she was locked into the hotel room, she cannot walk out. And one day when she like cannot bear that and try to open the door, and the moment she stepped out, the announcer just say something like number you cannot step out here, which we feel so bad because she was treating like a prisoner.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is so terrible.
Yeah, I mean I understand that the person the officer who taking this kind of responsibility, he or she need to do this kind of things, and actually she can get the officers and the staff would like to do some convenience for the people, but still the policy itself is really make people to feel like the things not good and just feel like the normal life is no more. Yeah. So I'm really happy there now that just take back all this kind of restriction. Yeah.
So now they took back all the restrictions, and so they don't have to be treated like that anymore.
Yeah, I think it
correct?
was suddenly like at the end of last year. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And so for you, was it being here the whole time and having maybe your mom and other family in China? Was that hard for you to not be able to be next to them in person?
So like because I mean nowadays you're quite the internet is quite
Yes.
convenient, so we can just
yeah.
talk anytime we want. And the only thing is the jet lag, but I cannot blame anybody for that one. But so now, the most impact that happened during the pandemic is that we have more time during our talk to blame this kind of phenomenon. That so let's say today one of our relatives they just get like the test positive, and someday we just get like kind of the notification from the health code app saying that, oh, you're in the high risk area, so you need to take action to that one.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean because we have limited time to talk because we're in different countries, so
Yeah.
I don't want this kind of negative things to take a large percentage in our conversation, because that's make nobody happy.
Yeah.
That's the thing I would like to complain about that.
Yeah. That's really challenging. I can imagine.
Yeah, because my grandma, like who is already like more than 90 years old, and that's the group of person who is facing the most risk that during the pandemic. So now we are happy that she just came through and with nothing happened. But during that we're thinking about like, because I know that in a certain time the government just come in and told us that your grandmother need to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
But which we are just really worried about that, because that sometimes the vaccine will just make you have some reaction, that even to make you have the fever sometime during before the vaccine just take effect, right? So we say that if possible we really don't want our grandma to take the vaccine before it was proved that 100% safe.
Yeah.
But after that we managed to do that because like to make some like the political loophole, but these kind of things really like take a lot of effort to do and have a long time to worry about that. Yeah.
So what happened with your grandma?
搞了假的。
Yeah, so we make a fake one, like saying that we have some staff coming to our house and like to witness to say that she already take the vaccine, but in fact she did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To protect her.
Yeah, take a photo and other like process thing, the document things saying that she already took it, but in fact not. Yeah.
Okay.
看不到了钱。
Yeah, because I mean we just cannot risk that.
Yeah.
Even we know that it's not good to do that, but still we did it. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're desperate and you want to make sure that you keep them safe.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
So now, after it's been a few years and now the restrictions are lifted, does your
Yes.
grandma feel safe? Like, can she leave her house or does she stay at home mostly?
No, because she is like just too old to do it, I think on her own, and I don't think she know a lot of like what happened outside,
Really?
感染了。
except the pandemic. And we think actually during the period she has been test positive once or twice during the But what all she facing is that kind of tiredness and just don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And now we feel like she just went through, and now the most important thing for her is that she can have some time to go out, have some sunshine, and to talk with her friend. So that's the bad thing, and the only thing and the most important thing for her. Yeah.
Yeah, that socialization.
Yeah, right.
And connection with people. It's so
Yeah,
important.
yeah. I think like because old men will just get kind of depressed during the winter.
Yeah.
Because there's like kind of cold and nobody just can communicate. That will really make them like have even will risk their physical condition. Yeah.
Yeah.
外公病在住医院，我们都不让看。
Oh yeah, because sorry, 他是在3年之内过世的吗? Yeah, and actually our grandpa just passed away in the past 3 years.
I'm so sorry.
And then during the time that when he was in the hospital because of the quarantine and the COVID policy, we really cannot to make too many visits in the hospital to talk with him, because they say it's not
Just don't
allowed.
let anybody.
Yeah, it's not allowed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when he was in the hospital, how long? No one would be able to see him. How
21
long?
天，20
So like 21 days, you will need to like go through a lot of like the quarantine things to make a visit. Yeah.
Make one visit.
Yeah, but sometimes the people would like to give us some like it's a exception, but you know exception is exception. Is yeah, every time we need to do something about
It's
that.
very hard.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Wow, that's so difficult. I'm so sorry. So sorry for your loss.
And because I'm not, because I was not in the country, but I heard something from my friend who is just complaining about that every morning, like when they get to the like the subway or like the bus, they need to wear mask and of course show the green code because I mean they live in quite a busy city, so every time they make their work hour rush even like more pain to do that because the line because everything. And someday they told me that one day he just forgot to bring the mask and he get just so like kind of crazy because he cannot just get onto the train, and then she just like absent and no excuse can be made because of that. You cannot talk to boss because say, hey boss, I cannot go to work on time because I forgot the mask and the government and the staff don't let me go on because that's your own fault.
Yeah.
So happily he just find a friend who also lived like near to him and happened to be there in the subway station that time, and gave him a mask. That's how he went through. But if no, and that his day will be ruined. Yeah.
Wow.
每天早上就擦。
Yeah, and someday like and every day you need to do like the most crazy the crazy time every day you need to do like the test and to make sure if there one day you get like positive and you cannot went into the office building. Yeah.
Wow. And so when they would have to be quarantined, if they got positive, did they get in trouble with work or they were okay?
Like I think they told me is that
环境太差。
you have to stay at home, but like if that happen only like maybe once or twice a year, it's okay. But if you happen to just unlucky to go through a lot of like what they say is high risk area, yeah,
方舱。
even you don't know because even you are okay, but because when you go if you went through the area which they just on the map they said is red, then you get red, and then if that happen too much, then of course you will lose the work because nobody will like you because you're always absent for no matter what the reason is. Yeah.
And it was very challenging to work from home.
Working from
Assuming.
yeah, they say like because the talk in terms of the work efficiency that like the remote working is of course is
not
not
a thing.
yeah.
Wow, that's so challenging. And so for you, T, here in the U.S., now that you graduated, your whole program went virtual. Is that correct? Your graduate program?
During the pandemic, yes.
And then were you able to finish in person, or did you have to finish it virtually?
For most part, it's virtually.
Virtual.
Yeah.
And so now that you transitioned into the workforce and you work, is your job virtual now, or do you go in person?
Go in person, and they have like I think like most of their industrial like they have you choose that several days, certain days you can
Certain
work
days
from
you
home.
can stay,
Yeah.
and certain days, How's that been for you?
Because I start from this form, I didn't feel like a lot of difference. So for me, I kind of accept that because like I said before, I'm kind of an indoor person who like so I cannot like maybe I will not like to have too much like the communication. So this form for me is okay.
Yeah.
But I still hear a lot of complaint about that one because they would like to go out and even just hanging out is better than working from home. I know that's a like kind of major opinion.
Yeah. Well, to respect your time, and is there anything else that you would like to share with me?
Yeah, I think I've like speak all like I want to say. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.